Well, it's about, I guess that was really close. It's about 4 o'clock on Monday, March the 21st. And as you can see behind me, my farmer had just left. He came out and got here about 2:30. In about an hour and a half to 2 hours, he basically he tilled in my hay and leaves and got me a really good, rich dirt to start with. He got me, I think, 18 beds done. He had to leave for a while. He's hopefully going to come back tonight. If not, he's going to come back tomorrow. But didn't really chop it up quite as much as I had hoped. But it is mixed in. The leaves are there. And as you can see, it's a good crumbly dirt. There's a lot of leaves and stuff in it, but of course that's going to rot away. But the dirt itself is really good and crumbly and actually pretty moist, even though we haven't had any rain well, it's been dry for a good week and a half now, and nice and sunny. But you can see we're good, 8 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches deep. Good crumbly texture. It's going to be great planting soil. But I've got 18 beds, 18 long beds. Starting here. These first 2 beds are going to be shaded a little bit more probably than I'd like from that tree. I'm going to go up and remove all the limbs below that big fork. I think that'll make a big difference. Those 3 or 4 lower limbs there, I'm going to remove those. And then this set of beds from this line here, that half bed you see there, from all of this nasty stuff here, is pretty much just going to be flowers. I'm going in and I'm going to, because I actually ran out of my organic material this year, and I wanted it focused on my vegetables. I've got this area. This had this really nasty variegated reed. It's actually really pretty, but it's invasive and it stays forever. So I'm going to get him to come up, and he's going to go through here, and this whole area from the corner here all the way down, all this whole section here, he's going to till all of this and just work it in. And I'm probably just going to do flowers here this year so I can get in here and start picking this stuff out, keep picking it out, and make it nice and good material before when I'm ready to start planting my vegetables out here. This will probably be next year's vegetables, at least part of them, but this year it's going to be a lot of flowers and stuff out here. As you can see, my apple tree is starting to bloom. Finally, I was worried about it this year because I thought it bloomed earlier last year, but apparently not. And as you can see, there's a few honeybees already out pollinating. You see that? I hope so. But and there's some big bumblebees out pollinating too today. But hopefully we'll have apples. I'll go in once the fruit's set and remove all but 1 or 2 on each of these buds so that I can actually get really good fruit this year. I didn't do anything with it last year, and we had a lot of fruit, but they were all small and they kind of dropped early. So I'm hoping that if I go in and just let each one of these stems produce 1 apple as opposed to 4 or 5, they'll be nice and big, full-size apples, and hopefully be able to hold their own a little bit better. I put a lot of leaf mulch under here last year, and it's composting, and it's made a much better soil, and it's holding a lot more moisture. As you can see, it's nice and crumbly, and there's probably some earthworms in here, but it's a much better soil than it was last year. Last year it was just weeds. So I've done this, and I actually, before the end of the year, probably my next load of horse manure, or the next couple of loads of horse manure, I'll put a few around this tree, so that once I do remove those extra fruit, all my blossoms will have a place to go. I mean, the nutrient can go into my fruit and hopefully help to sustain it. It's kind of odd though to me that there's none of these leaves have, these lower branches don't have any buds. They're just leaves. So I don't know why all my fruit set is going to be up so high this year, but it looks like it's going to be. So, okay, so that's all going to be flowers over there. I'm going to take, this is a huge old iris patch. I'm going to dig it all up, separate these out, spread them out so they can multiply, and they'll be planted out there. I've got some daylilies that have been shaded for a really long time, and there's a lot of them here, and I think once they're out in the sun, they'll be pretty and prolific, and they'll actually produce and be really pretty. They're probably an old-fashioned variety too, because the fact that they have they've been here for years. You can see there's some irises back over there as well, and then this is some patches of daylilies that I dug and divided last year, or actually 2-3 years ago. But they're nice, good producing. They bloom really well and very pretty, and they're going to go all out there as well. So I've got you got 18 rows. They're not quite as far apart as I wanted, so I'll go in with a rake or shovel and I'll just open them up so that there's defined rows between them. I'd like a little strip of grass in between each one so that it's easy to delineate, and so people know not to step in the garden and they can step on the grass instead. But as you can see, it's much better. If you watched the earlier video, it's a much more uniform, much more worked in, so that everything is nice and crumbly and level and spread out and full. So I have 18 full length beds. The beds probably average about 80 feet. I'll have to remeasure and make sure, 80 or 90 feet long. So quite a bit of space. They're about 4.5 feet wide. And that's what we've got done today so far. I'm really hoping he'll come back tonight because I'm not going to be here tomorrow. So he'll have to come down and do it without me here tomorrow, which is fine. He's a good guy. He's done really well so far. But as you can see, this is really, really good dirt back here. This is the lower spot, the lower part of the farm, and it stays a little bit wetter. I was worried that it would be too wet to actually till today, but it is nice and crumbly, so it's still got a good texture to it, and we didn't compact it at all, so it'll be great. Great. It's going to be a really nice place here. This is my farm, Bad Duck Farms. Look for more videos coming soon. Thanks.